Hello, and welcome to this episode of Hammering Down. I'm your host, Killer Hodges. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome to the second film study that we're doing. This one is on Stephen Turnbull, whom I have had to re-record a lot of stuff because I keep calling him Spencer Turnbull, who I think is a sixth man in the Phillies lineup or like in their rotation. I don't know. I'm sorry, Stephen. If I call you Spencer again, I'm really sorry. Um, but this is a little film study. Now, I was going to do one on Thiago Suarez, the new center back loanee from New England, but there's not a whole lot of film on him because the stuff with Next Pros all hidden and locked away. So the stuff that we have from when he was at Sacramento Republic is really old, and I don't think it's a fair assessment of who he is as a player. So we're really just getting into Turnbull. And as we're getting into Stephen Turnbull's film, here's a couple things that I want to just lay out for you. He was mostly used as a right midfielder last year. You could say he's a right wing back, but the way that they used him was very much as a right midfielder. That's not to say that he isn't great. He got a lot of appearance for New York City FC, their first team, not just the two team, as a right wing back. He is someone who is very impressive as a fullback. And before we get into this, I'm just going to tell you, he is the best fullback we have had since Jonny Dean. Now, I know I said that last year with Derek Dodson. Turnbull's another step up. Um, we've had some really good fullbacks in the past. I mean, you think about Jonny Dean, obviously. You think about, honestly, Colin Smith has made a name for himself. You look at someone like, what's his name? Derek Dodson, of course. Maju Marana was around for a little bit. Jake Rufus filled in from time to time. Honestly, this guy, Stephen Turnbull, is just another level. He defends great. He attacks really well. I mean, he is going to be another attacking force for us. And is he Jonny Dean? I don't think so. I don't think he's quite that level, but he's about as close as you're going to get at the USL level. We had Johnny for as long as we did. I think we all knew that we were living on stolen time, and I think that Steven is going to be the closest thing we'll probably ever have to Johnny Dean until, well, hopefully Johnny Dean comes home one day. Hopefully he doesn't just, hang up the boots. But, if he never makes his way back to Birmingham, I do think that Steven might be the best thing we get because he's about as close as you're going to get. So, all that kind of in mind, there's obviously some tactical stuff that Rhode Island does differently than Birmingham. But what I want to bring to you is what he does as a player. You're going to see a lot of attacking stuff in here, but again, that comes down to the fact that he was used as more of a midfielder than a wingback a lot of times, but I still put in some defensive highlights. So, all that said, I want to go ahead and get in. And we start off with his best game of the year, which unfortunately comes against Birmingham. I just want you to notice what he does. He is really good at this connecting play. He takes a touch up. He has a nice little 1-2 where he plays in, and he goes and forces a press to try to force a mistake. They then go and win the ball back and stop a counterattack for Birmingham. Again, just kind of watch how this breaks down. He gets the pass in, scans the field, touches it in. Now, this is not the best pass in the world. It's fine. He tries to go Clay. The ball tries to go Clay Holstad. But look how fast Turnbull is in to press this ball. He tries to force the mistake, and they kind of do, and they stop the counterattack, all because he pressed the ball that heavily. He is a pressing machine. Now, he goes into this overlap, and I just want you to look at this ball. Again, just look at this. Look, they just say even down there turn somewhere, and they get the ball in. And we see him just get a nice little pass into Holstad, who gets an across. Immediate scoring opportunity. Here we see a pass into the box, which again leads to another quick pass into a shot. I mean, it was pretty simple. You get a pass into the box, and then immediately out, one-time shot. That's something we used to see with Birmingham a lot when things were really cooking, especially those passes into the top of the box. Usually it was Bruno Lapa taking those. For Rhode Island, it was Clay Holstad. Um, Next up, we have just this beautiful long diagonal ball. And this is important because the diagonal ball is huge in Birmingham. The long ball, Alex Crognale was the one who did a lot of this, where he would pick his head up, go with the long ball. Well, here you see a long diagonal ball. They did a weird cut, or they went to Coach Stone for no good reason. But you just have to, I just want you to look at the ball again. I mean, it's a great ball, and he does this a few times where he picks his head up, sees the run onto the left-hand side, gets it over, and it leads to a potential scoring opportunity. Now, I want you to kind of look at his recovery. He's out of position here, technically. If you look at where Dawson McCartney is, Dawson should be winning this. He should be getting a shot on or a pass into the box to Preston, who's in the middle. But his touch does let him down just a little bit. But look how quickly Turnbull is able to close down. At this point, Dawson could probably get a weak cross in if Turnbull wasn't there. Turnbull was there. I mean, look. I mean, Turnbull forces this bad cross. Again, I just want to show this to you. Look at this recovery speed. Recovers in behind. Again, bad touch lets him down. But there were many times these last few years without Jonny that the recovery did not quite happen like this. Forces a very poor cross. Coque Vegas handles. From here, we see a nice little connecting pass from Turnbull, kind of getting everybody up, connects the ball into the midfield, which goes into the middle of the field, a nice little meg, and gets into an opportunity. Now, here's a little touch, has a pass, goes into the middle. They look for him on the outside. First time cross in, puts a little danger on. Busan isn't really able to turn it goalwards, but look at how much they relied on this overlap. We used to do this all the time with Jonny Dean, just outright. Think about how much you saw this with Jonny, where he would get the ball, pass it around. Now, again, from here, you do not think that you're going to be passing out wide. I mean, look at where Dawson and look where Moses Mensah are. They're not really out of position, but there's really no reason for you to, look at this. You see the pass in. Turnbull starts to make the run. Moses Mensah is looking at Dikwa. He's doing the right thing. He is obviously doing the right thing here. Turnbull on the outside, first time cross, can't quite direct it goalward. From here, we get a nice little overlap where he just happens to be where the deflection comes. Early cross in. I don't hate it. It's not what he wants, but look at the immediate pressure into a slide tackle. Look at that. Look at this. No, ball doesn't go where he wants. He sees it's not where it's supposed to be. Slide tackle, bang, win the ball back. And we are starting the attack again. He's right back up, getting to the connecting play, causes the overlap, gets in, gets a good little cross to the top of the box. Doesn't quite work out where he wants to go. That's totally fine. Obviously, you want the end product to be better, but also he is the lone reason why this play happens. Everything started with Turnbull. It's awesome. I love this. You see just a little bit more connecting play. Ball goes out to Turnbull here and just kind of connects it back to the top of the play, kind of swings. And he's just sort of involved with keeping the ball moving. There's no real stagnation with him, and he makes a nice little run, and he pulls a defender with him. I want you to kind of pay attention. Turnbull is the one who's going to be on the top right. He gets the ball. Mensah's here, and Mensah goes to follow Turnbull. Honestly, I think that if I can't really tell who that is, I'm assuming that it's going to be Clay Holstad, maybe, or maybe it's I don't remember who it is. I think he could have turned outward and used that space. If we're being brutally nitpicky, I think here he doesn't realize that he could probably turn outward because Moses is running with him. And he just creates all this havoc, and then there's a cross, doesn't really work. Now, check this out. I want you to look at where he is. This is the right back. He is already on the end line to receive this back post ball, where he heads it into the front of the 6-yard box, which is a huge thing right now, in for a goal. The goal doesn't count, but how many times have we seen this from a Legion right back? We haven't. From here, who's going to be lurking at the back post? Usually it was someone like a Stefano Pino. Well, this allows Dequa to go to the middle of the box, go to around the penalty spot, and then he's already at the back post. Obviously, this goes out of play, but this little cross back into the front of the 6-yard box, they kind of call it the second 6 yards, whereas between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot, you can see it. This is a header into that area. It's considered to be the most dangerous ball in football right now, and finishes it between the legs. Again, the goal doesn't count, but it's about the movements that you see from Turnbull here and his ability to kind of place it where he needs. Here, you see Turnbull having a nice, just carry the ball up the pitch and immediately starts the overlap. I think that he should have played him there, but that's just me. Now, here we get a ball out to the outside where he drives this one low. He's not just putting him high, he drives it low. I don't really know why the ball just doesn't really connect there. I don't know if it's just a miss or what. I don't know. Now, here we see Turnbull come in, tackle it, and immediately start a 1-2 where we get a cross in, goes out for a Rhode Island corner. Again, I just want you to see this pressure that comes in. Immediate pressure wins the ball. He passes the ball, who he immediately gets it back, one-time cross out for a corner. That's just more pressure building onto the defense. That's what Turnbull does. Here we see a nice little dribble to the inside, goes up top. He stays out wide, and he calling for the ball, and he's just keeping this defense spread out. This defense is so spread out, and we get a cross into the back stick. Again, that's where Turnbull is. How many times have we seen a Legion player in this last few years just not be at this back stick? Again, I want you to notice he called for the ball earlier, so he clearly knows that he's an option, right? Ball's in, watch him at the top of the top. There he goes, hand up, look for me. Now, where's this ball going to go? Back stick, right? We already know this. Cross goes. Who's it for? Turnbull. He kind of wins it, but doesn't make much of it. Now here, he stops the counterattack. Look at the way he jumps in. And you saw this a lot with Rhode Island, where the goal was to push them into the middle. They play with 3 center backs and push them into the middle. Now, he stops the counter. He cuts off this passing lane. Okay, I want you to see it again. Where he jumps in, stops that passing lane. Can't do anything, pushes him inside. He's done his job at this point. Press them to the inside, force them into their midfield. From here, we get just a nice little run to the outside. Turnbull's there. And you see what looks like it's going to be an early cross. Doesn't happen. Kind of pushes it inside, Holstad, and forces a great shot. This all happens, again, because Turnbull kind of fakes the early cross. Earlier this game, we saw the early cross. Deserves respect. Look, he starts to stand up like he's going to cross it. Everybody drops. Everybody kind of gets ready for that early cross. No one sees Fuson here. And even then, it's a nice little touch. And honestly, just a heck of a shot by Holstad to even make that anything. Now, here we are. We see, again, we've already talked about this back post run. How many times? We have seen 3 different times now where he's made this back post run. Well, this one kind of goes all the way across. Look who's on your far right of your screen. Falls to him. Finish. Bang. Goal. 1-0. Again, how many times have we talked about this back post run with Clay Holstad? Not Holstad, I'm sorry. Stephen Turnbull. Ball goes. Where is he? Back post. Left foot. Goal. And sends, Rhode Island fans going absolutely crazy. I just like to see the celebrations, even though it was against Birmingham, makes me want to throw up just a little bit. But nice celebrations. Here we're into Tampa Bay, where he gets just a nice little 1-2 going, where we have pass in 1-2, and it leads to a cross. Cross is okay. It is what it is. But puts pressure on the defense. This is just what he's all about. This is what this Rhode Island team did a lot of, but this is what he's capable of. One, dribble, one, and there it goes. This is what you're looking for, especially when you're looking to feed a guy like Ronaldo Damas. Now, here he's kind of caught on an island. It takes the one-time cross. Doesn't quite end up where he wants. This ball ends up here, and he goes to cut off the passing lane. If he goes straight through Turnbull, well, Turnbull's going to get it, forces a bad pass, can't handle it. Now, here we see, again, Turnbull is here. He's going to step in with the pressure, stepping in, and he's going to just drop in a little bit deeper, right into the middle of these two players. He can react to either situation. He can react to the person that is on his left shoulder, the one that's on his right shoulder. That passing lane's gone. Now, Turnbull then tucks in. So once that passing lane is done, Turnbull tucks in, and he is able to just kind of win and block that shot, again, because he tucked in. He's able to block the shot. It leads to a pass for him, who he then sends it straight forward where you are having an immediate counterattack. And then you have Dikwa. Shot doesn't go how you want. I want to just replay this full thing. Okay. Again, just watch Turnbull. Where he is going to be at your top, like in the middle of your screen. And ball goes out to him. He cuts off the passing lane, presses him into the middle wherever they want him. Well, from here, he's going to drop in, cut off passing lanes there, cuts off another passing lane. Now he tucks in. That back stick is no longer an option. Now you have a winner, and then you have a block. Block goes over. He makes himself an option, plays the long pass, a perfect pass, by the way, that immediately goes into a counterattack. This is all caused because of Turnbull. All of this is caused because of Turnbull. I mean, look at this pass. That is so good. That is just so good. A perfectly weighted pass. This is the kind of stuff that you want to do if you are going to try to get more goals. Now we see another pass that goes straight up top to our Dikwa, who, I mean, just a quick ball in, doesn't quite turn much anything. Now you see Turnbull getting ready, intercepts the ball, and he gets dribbles, and is able to reset it, sends it over to Koke Vegas. Again, just check this out. Passing lane, jockeying. And from here, he reads it, wins it, dribble, away from another guy, recycle, back to Koke. Here we have a nice little dribble down the line, gets it back, passes it to the top of the box, makes himself an option, temporarily pulls the player with him, where it then goes to a shot. Now, ball's turned over. He sees that we have the number 9 right here. Cuts off passing lane. Thanks to their pressure, of course. Cuts off passing lane. Wins it. Pass into the middle. Overlap played. Shot saved by Jordan Farr. But again, I want you just to pay attention to how he did this. Wins the ball. Plays it back. Makes himself an option. Temporarily pulls a player. Now in the middle as an option again. Ball is dispossessed. Cuts off the passing lane. Pressure causes him to pretty poor pass. Now he plays the ball into the middle. Immediately goes for an overlap. The overlap's played. Header down. Touch. Shot. Saved, unfortunately. But again, that's just pressure. Lots of pressure. Now here we have a nice little just bit of corner defense. Get it out. Cool. Just see that he's a little versatile. Here we have a cross into the box, and it's a nice little touch away by Hugo Faru. It doesn't really turn much in anything, but again, just check out the cross. Touch, cross in. This is the kind of service that you want to give a Ronaldo Damas. He is perfect for this kind of stuff. Here we have a nice little tackle. Tackle can be put in here. Win it, dribble, go. Now, obviously, he loses the ball, but again, that amount of pressure causes issues for Loudon. Here, once again, what have we been talking about? We've been talking about these crosses into into this back post area, and then heading it into the 6-yard box. Now, we talked about this. This is turning into like kind of the meta, the most dangerous ball you can play. There's that second 6-yard box. We talked about that again, the 12 yards, if you will. Back post, played in. Who's there? Turnbull. Header to the top of the box, to the 6-yard box. It's not bad. It's not bad. This is, again, the stuff that he's doing. Now we get in. Look at this touch. That's so good. That's just so good. And then header. It's a good cross in. Just touch. Bang. Cross in. Really nice. Deflected out for a corner. Here we see him defending. Stops the counter. Immediately starts to follow that man. Now, once we get right here, we see immediately pressing in, pressing, wins it, forces the Loudon player to win a throw-in for Rhode Island. Great stuff from Turnbull. Great stuff from Stephen Turnbull. Where it immediately goes into a counterattack. Get a little cross in. He's at the top of the box waiting for anything. Doesn't really come much of it. I just want you to see this dribble. Gets it. Cuts in. And then he wins it. Juggle, header, juggle. Just want to watch it again. I just like this. Juggle, header, juggle. Tries to pass it off. Kind of works. All right, here he is. I just want you to look how comfortable he is on the ball. This is a fullback that wants the ball at his feet. Ball passed out to him. Dribble inside. Lay it off to Vegas. Immediately goes out wide to make himself a passing option. Puts his hands up, pass it to me. Bang. What a pass by Vegas, by the way. Touch inside, dribble, touch in, and then he's just going to lay it off. Here, we're going to see him put in a nice little tackle where he's going down this left-hand side, stands him up, tackle. And then, just like we said before, he's going to force this guy inside. Follows him, forces him inside. Does great defensive duties. Now, we have talked about, again, these diagonal balls that we're going to be missing out with Alex Grinali. That's why he was really good with those long balls, those really good long balls through. Turnbull is a natural placement for this. Here he's going to see Fuson streaking down the left-hand side. Wonderful ball into that little pocket of space. Touch inside and shot. This does not happen without this picture-perfect cross or this picture-perfect ball by Turnbull. Again, just look at how, well, we're on to a different thing. Picks his head up, plays it. I mean, that's wonderful. Look, that's such a good ball. That is just such a good ball. Wow. Just wow. Here we get a nice little tackle in. Or we're about to anyway. Here it is. Tackle in. And then pass it off up to Dikwa, who I think that's a pin, but that's just me. Now here we're going to just see a nice little shot into in by Turnbull. Again, he's not afraid to shoot. Forces a corner out of this. Again, just nice little ball into Dikwa. Forces it. Should have been a pin. Here, Turnbull gets in, cuts inside. Loses his man. Look how much space he has. Look how much space. It's crazy. I'm going to replay this. Again, ball out, touch in. Goes to shoot. Takes a little too long, if we're being honest, but that's okay. And forces a corner. Then we have a nice little tackle coming in here. Or he forces him outside. Tackle in. Plays it into the middle. And it's great stuff. Now check this out. This is the last one of this episode where we have a nice little 1, 2, run. And then It's a poor touchdown, but Turnbull was immediately pressing the ball, creates a 1v1, tries to go around, can't beat Paul Blanchette. But that's fine. I just want you to watch what Turnbull does here. He reads this play the entire way, and he just presses. He sees a heavy touch, and he presses like crazy. Again, nice little tackle. Turnbull gets it immediately on its horse. Poor touch. He was there to stop it. On fully running, and he tries to take a shot, doesn't work. I mean, look, this is just great stuff. This is just really great stuff. This is why you bring in a Stephen Turnbull. I think I called him Spencer again several times. I'm sorry, Stephen. Um, this is just great stuff, honestly. And it's a lot of stuff that we've been missing from this Birmingham team for a long time. He's going to slot in as our right back, kind of a right wing back. Now, there's a couple ways I could see this going. I could see this going with kind of a 4-1-4-1 shape. I could also see this going to be a kind of a three-back system, possibly a 3/5 back, depending on what you kind of think. And we could see them running a similar setup that you saw with Rhode Island. Granted, I think that in order for Legion to go to the 3/5 back, I think you're assuming that Matthew Corcoran is gone. And this is, again, just assuming current roster construction, which there's more players on the way, but you kind of understand what I'm saying. This is a wonderful pickup. I mean, this is seriously an amazing pickup. If you're Birmingham, it's a no-brainer. You spent the money to go get him. He's arguably one of the best right backs in the league, arguably one of the best fullbacks in the league in general. It's wonderful stuff from Stephen Turnbull. Amazing pickup by Birmingham. And I'm excited. Straight up, I'm super excited about this. Hope you are too. Thank you so much for watching this little film study. I appreciate you all. Until next time, guys. Keep hammering on.